It is now with equal pride that I invite to the podium the senior who leads the class by earning the highest academic average among all of our graduates, assuming the rank of our 2018 valedictorian, headed for Duke University come September. Please welcome valedictorian Mr. Achilles Dabrowski to deliver his address.
Thank you very much, Mr. Torriello. Before I begin, let us all take a moment, as Mr. Torriello would say, to salute our parents, families, and friends that have all helped us to reach this point in our lives. Mr. Swanik, thank you very much for turning down the sun for all of us gathered here on this splendid occasion. Now, being that I may be the first Greek valedictorian to have this microphone, I would also like to proclaim that our weddings are nothing like the one that you saw in my big fat Greek wedding, and that I do not indeed worship Zeus. So, as many of you know, something that really made our class special was our tremendous passion for our school and for each other. Ryan Sudol, as an example, has distinguished himself as the center of Morris Hill school spirit. We should all aspire to make a difference like Ryan did. Not to sound cliche, but we have all known for years that we can change the world. We've heard the same story many times from our elders, and that includes you, Yaya Bakar. But which of us are willing to stand up and fight the good fight? As Charles Dickens once wrote, one must stand up for oneself, one's life. Today, I hope to inspire one of you, in the very least, to stand up for what is right. We have all been taught to always obey authority, especially our elders. And given that we are all here, I think we've all gotten fairly good at that. Wouldn't you say, Mr. Merle? He doesn't seem too sure. But are our leaders always correct? Of course not. Each and every day, we should be willing and able to question everything. Now, let's step back for a moment to look back at the daily happenings at the school. For example, after today, when you need to use the restroom, are you going to fall into a panic because you can't find the red pass? Will you be able to put on a cap when visiting the school? Perhaps wearing backpacks in the lunch line isn't so bad after all. We all must remember to think for ourselves and evaluate situations based on our own conscience, not that of other groups and spheres of influence. Now, as we move into the next stage of our lives, we should also ensure that when we call for change of any kind, that we propose solutions to the problems. We, as the future of our country, must stand against grandstanding and virtue signaling, both of which have harmed civil discourse for nearly a decade. Words must become
Woo! Yeah!
Words must become action in order for us to accomplish that which we seek. Change is not easy, for as social studies icon Mr. Ellis proclaimed, the people in power tend to do what they can to maintain it. That said, as we ride the roller coaster of life, if we are to achieve reform, we must always remember that no one is above criticism. There's no need for us to put too much stock in the character of individuals that seem to share our values. Membership in any government agency or organization does not make a person infallible, for we are all imperfect beings. Don't put all your faith in celebrities such as Kanye or Elon Musk because they are only human. That being said, it is equally as important that we always walk through life with a sense of self-responsibility, not only when we succeed, but when we fail. When we fail, and we will all fall on our face many times throughout our lives, we should first accept responsibility for our actions and then proceed to clean the dirt off of our faces. It is this type of thinking that has allowed many of us to conquer difficult situations. Now, as much as we should question authority, we should not simply blame an institution or system as long as something does not go our way. If we all maintain a strong sense of self-responsibility, we could solve many of our society's problems without the help of others. On another note, throughout our years at high school, we have heard outcries for a more equitable society. Although we may not all aspire to be politicians, there is something we could all do to make society fair for all people. We can look at people as separate individuals and not judge them by the way that they look. We should seek to never judge people and should in turn rise above insult of any kind. Besides equality, I think that we must all be committed to the cause of upholding individual liberty, a defining trait of this nation that has brought many of our immigrant families and children of this nation to this very place. To preserve life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, we should all stand against jealousy and utopianism. And we should remember how blessed we are to live in Morris County, one of the richest counties in the nation, with some of the best educational and healthcare systems. When we complain about a laggy school Chromebook or PC, a glitch on a Fortnite server, or even Apple purposely slowing down its smartphones to protect those poor batteries, it's true. We must always remember that many people across the world have never even laid eyes on these pieces of hardware and software. Next time you encounter some lag on Fortnite Battle Royale, please take a breather. So we leave here proud of the people who have stood by us and worked with us and brought us here today. I want you all to be proud of what you've done. I want you to continue to be lifelong learners if that is your wish. Never be discouraged, never be petty. Love all people, especially those who may not be your biggest fans. Always stand up for what is right, even if it may not be popular. Always allow for self-reflection, even if it may not be convenient. Always remember how lucky we are to have the gifts that God has given all of us. America is great because it is good, and it is our duty to keep America great together. Let us never forget those who we meet along our journeys yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Thank you very much to my friends, family, and all of those who have made it possible for me to stand before you today. Thank you. Thank you very much.